there's a common conception, I think, that Common Core represents a shift away from personal writing toward more expository writing, that's not so child-centric. And I think that that's a dangerous idea and misleading, actually, because I don't think that's really exactly what Common Core is saying. If you look at their distribution of communicative properties, they reference a site that suggests that roughly in third grade or fourth grade, it's about 30%, 40% narrative writing, 30% expository writing, and 30% to persuade. And that shifts a little bit as kids get older. There's a little bit of moving away from narrative writing. But even in the high school, the representation or the suggestion is that about 20% of the writing is narrative, which is actually a pretty lot of writing for high school that's still personal writing. When I get a lot of emails from school districts that would like me to talk about the Common Core, one of the common things I hear is we really feel like we've mastered, our teachers have a good grip on narrative writing, personal narrative and memoir writing, but we'd like to now talk more and really train and ramp up toward other kinds of non-narrative writings. And there's a kind of a subtext in those messages, been there, done that in terms of narrative. And now we really have to, and maybe even there's an idea that people have got, and maybe this is accurate too, that narrative is really sort of the forgotten child or the less important child. So what I would argue is that we need to be doing, certainly persuasive writing and informational writing is very important. I would definitely not argue with that. In fact, I'm working on a book right now on nonfiction writing for teachers. But what I would say is that we need to be doing that not instead of narrative, but in addition to narrative. I really believe that narrative is how students get their stride as writers, by writing stories about their lives. I guess it begs the question, why is personal writing important? Why is narrative writing important? And I would say several things. First of all, it's a way to say to that student, you have some skin in the game. Your stories are important, they're meaningful, they're actually part of our curriculum, we think that much of them. And not only that, but when kids can write about something from their own lives, they have a chance to make the writing better. I always remember a quote that the late, great Don Murray said, which is that good writing starts with specific, accurate information, honest information. And when students write about their lives, when they talk about going to a hunting trip with their grandfather or saying goodbye to their sister going off to college, they can imbue the writing with the particulars that really make the writing have an authenticity and make it come alive. And I think that I do think that there's a possibility there was a time in my writing career that maybe we did overemphasize personal narrative. Maybe that was just the only kind of writing that we pushed. But I wouldn't want to see us move away from it totally. I think that it's important that we hang on to that personal writing, because I think it's where good writing starts. And it doesn't end that way, but I think it's important. And also, a lot of the work that I've been looking at myself in terms of information and persuasive writing really also has a lot of narrative elements in it. It's not divorced from narrative either. So I think that when kids learn how to write story, that has a chance to actually come into their writing also.